Welcome everyone to our Truck Night America for race 18 out of 28 on the season and the regular season finale for the Brickyard 200 here from Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It's been a long journey to this point, but we have finally made it to the final race of the regular season. Tonight we will crown a regular season champion and see who makes the 12 truck chase field. It's a tight battle going in. Brandon Haynes sits on the cutoff line alongside Rob Ladorn and a few others. And we got guys like Ryan Little, Rox D'Angelo, Nicholas Torres all trying to make it in. Who will make it in tonight? We will find out. Let's head on trackside for the pre-race ceremonies. Once again, welcome everyone to Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the regular season finale here and in our Truck Night America and for the Gainbridge Truck Series. We are finally here trackside to go over everything we need to go through coming into this race. And starting off here, folks, let's start off with our track overview. It's a hot afternoon here at Indianapolis, 87 degrees, 10 mile per hour is going, 10 mile per hour winds going east, 2.5 mile quad oval, 40 laps, double file restarts, and we have a bunch of home drivers today. You'll see a lot of 9, 17, and 38 shirts out here today, especially with the number 38 of Peter Onjack on pole. But this one's a very hot evening. It's going to be a hot and slick track, so these guys are going to probably have a long day. We haven't really seen a really hot race in a while. I mean, New Smyrna last weekend was pretty hot for a night race, but, I mean, was it last? No, not last weekend. The weekend before was pretty hot for night race, but we haven't really had that many hot races this year, but this one might be one of the hottest, so it's going to test these drivers and test their endurance and see how long they're able to go for. But it's going to be 40 laps around here. Might not seem like a lot, but this track is huge, and it's going to be a while, and it's going to be worth the show. The stands are packed here. Gainbridge's home race, so series sponsor. Definitely going to be excited for this one. But as we get into our point standings here today, speaking of Gainbridge, Matthew Kubert, the guy that runs Gainbridge scheme, he sits in fourth so far this season. He passed William Ayers, I think, 2 races ago, and he's looking good so far for the regular season race because he's in kind of no man's land so far this season. Sitting there in fourth, he hasn't really had any challengers besides William Ayers, and then hasn't really been able to catch up to the big 3 we have at the top. But speaking of that big 3 I have at the top, tonight we will crown a regular season champion, and it'll either be Peter Onjack, Landon Lauterbach, or Sanjay Vittoria. We don't really know, but it's very well possible that even Vittoria ties Peter Onjack on points. I mean, there's a lot of scenarios coming into this one. Peter Onjack on pole, so he has a good start. Landon Lauterbach also starting pretty well. So is Vittoria. All 3 of them are in this top 5, so it's going to be interesting to watch out for. There's a lot of scenarios that can go into this. Vittoria could tie Onjack. Landon Lauterbach could win it. You don't really know. It's going to be a very, very interesting race to look out for in the point standings. William Ayers kind of locked into 5th. Nathan Stapleton here in his home race. Both of their home races, 2 Indiana drivers. They both could battle it out for 5th, but it looks like Ayers likely will have the nod unless he has a really bad day. Then we have Adrian Gale, who's probably the last safe driver in this cutoff line race. If he just finishes the truck here today and does well, Gale will be in the playoffs and in the chase. But when it comes down to Matt Morley, Morley could be in danger with a really bad performance. He could be out of the playoffs from once leading the point standings. And Raul Dorn and David Dixon and Brandon Haynes and Skylar Taylor could all see themselves out as well. Ryan Little sitting on this cutoff line. He's been really good these past couple weeks. He's really, I guess you could say, locked in the past couple races, and he's looking good coming into this one. He's starting pretty well for himself, and I think with a really bad performance by Morley that this number 19 can sneak in, but that number 5, 45, and 1 all have to have good days. That 91 of Raul Dorn as well. It's been a tight cutoff race all year. Rox D'Angelo's up there as well. Nicholas Torres. It's just a very tight race. After that, I don't think Clinton Buchanan can really challenge that much. But this cutoff line race is going to be very close. It's going to be something to watch out for throughout this race. Can D'Angelo make it? Can Torres make it? Can Little make it? We'll find out at the end of the race. We'll crown our regular season champion, and we'll have our 12 truck field we'll have our 12 truck field for the last 10 races of the season on who will become champion. And it is going to be crucial for those drivers in those last 10 races to get all the points they can get. I mean, it's still going to be 38 trucks out there, so if you don't finish too well, maybe you finish 30th and another guy that you're battling right with finishes like 20th, he's going to have a huge points advantage on you because we are still using like the regular points format. So we will track the chase standings and the regular point standings because, a guy like, if say Rox D'Angelo she doesn't make it, she still could jump up there higher in the standings. We've seen it in real life. Some guys finish higher than the chase standings because they didn't make the chase, but they had a good performance after that. So anything's possible. So we'll keep track of that for the last 10 races, and we'll crown our champion. Oh, well, yeah, the champion will be crowned at Miami. I don't think we really will have an early champion crowned, honestly, with how close this series is. But we'll have to see what happens here tonight, this evening, whenever this race is. Haynes has got to make it. Taylor's got to make it. Dixon's got to make it. Dorn's got to make it. Morley's got to make it. All of them have to make it. So we'll probably see a lot of gutsy moves here tonight at Indianapolis. And, yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. Like I mentioned, a hot evening. It's going to be something that possibly could impact the racing. If it's cloudy here at Indianapolis, the racing isn't as good. That's pretty well known. But here today it is sunny out, so it should be some good racing up here soon. Drivers to look out for coming into today. There was a poll put out earlier this week for a fan vote, and the winner of the fan vote was actually 3 guys. Sanjay Vittoria, Nathan Stapleton, and Raul Godoran all were the 3 guys that were at the head of the fan vote. So those 3 guys are, in the fans' point of view, the 3 guys to look out for. Doran is a very interesting pick. Vittoria and Stapleton, not too much shocker. Stapleton, very popular around Indiana. It's his home track, like I mentioned. But my personal drivers to look out for, it's obviously got to start off with the 38 of Peter Onjack. When he starts from pole, he is very, very consistent from that position. And I'm just looking out for this 38. He really just has to drive away and hold off the 71 and everyone else. He's from Indiana. You know he wants to win his home track, so it would be something to look out for. The next driver to look out for, I look a little bit further behind. I'm looking at Matthew Hubert. I get those names mixed up so much. I'm looking at Matthew Hubert because Hubert, his 2 wins this season, the first multi-race winner, matter of fact, his 2 wins have been at huge tracks. Atlanta, which is a plate race now, and Talladega. 2 huge tracks, 2 plate races. Indianapolis, it has a lot of draft involved with it. It's a speedway, but there's a lot of draft in the field, and it is very important. So, with those wins he has so far this season, I'm looking out for this number 7 truck. He's very good at coming in there at the end and stealing these wins. Hubert's been under the radar. Very good driver, but under the radar. Doesn't have as much media attention, but he is someone I'm looking out for in this race to possibly steal the win from this big 3 and really cement himself coming into the chase, because I think Hubert will have a good chase run. He's just really consistent, just doesn't get that attention, but I think going to the chase, this 7 team is very, very dangerous. And then my 3rd driver to look out for is that number 19 of Ryan Little. Bill McNally Racing, I mean, these guys, when they're under pressure, they really show up, and I think it's going to be the same result once again here tonight at Indianapolis. I think Ryan Little will show up and have a good performance, but time will tell if that happens. But he is my 3rd driver to look out for. My last driver to look out for is that number 17 of Nathan Stapleton, his home track. Very good here. Once again, 2 Indiana drivers in my drivers to look out for. But, yeah, he's just very good at this track, so he's got a lot of experience here. So he's going to be hungry to get that one in front of these home fans, just like Onjack. So maybe we'll see a duel between 2 Indiana drivers. Don't really know, but, yeah, those are my 4 drivers to look out for. Hopefully they don't all wreck out like New Smyrna. Time will tell if that happens or not, but that's my drivers to look out for here tonight. And that's pretty much it for the pre-race show, folks. Make sure to like and subscribe. This is the final race of the regular season. It's been 18 long races up to now, and I can't even say 18 long weeks. We started in December, but we're finally here in the summer. So we've gone from winter to summer, and we're going to be ending here soon. So 10 more races to go this season. Make sure to join the Discord. But, folks, let's head on down trackside.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular, the bomb bear not yet away o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Drivers, start your engines.
Folks, you can see the trucks are fired off and ready to go here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the Brickyard 200. It's finally time to go. The last race of the regular season. Tonight, we crown a regular season champion, and we set our 12-truck chase field. So we'll see who are the 12 drivers that will be battling for the next 10 races for the championship. You can see the starting grid on the left side of your screen. Row 1 is going to be the 38 of Peter Onjack and the 71 Lane Lauterbach. Row 2 is going to be the number 92 of Sunja Vittoria, and on his outside will be the number 7 of Matthew Hubert. Behind them will be the 45 of Brandon Haynes and the 13 of Patrick Finderop, and then behind them will be the 91 of Raul Godorn and his teammate, the number 19 of Ryan Little, and rounding out your top 10 will be Nathan Stapleton and Alexander Rose. So that's your top 10 for today's race. A good amount of underdogs and a good amount of big names. Matthew Hubert up there, I mentioned him pre-race, a guy to look out for, but Ryan Little, Patrick Finderop, Raul Godorn, I guess you could say, is an underdog too, but he did win the fan vote, so we'll see if that ties into his performance here today. He seems to go under the radar with some of his performances. You can date back to IRP where he dominated the first half of that race, but David Dixon, who's starting only a row behind him, was the one that won that race. So David Dixon sits on the cutoff line coming into today's race. So does Brandon Haynes. A lot of guys do, so this is an important race to see who's going to make it. A lot of guys are going to be desperate to make moves and get this race win. But with no further ado, folks, Peter Onjack will lead us to green here for the Brickyard 200. And the green flag's out for the Brickyard 200, and we are underway for the final race of the regular season. And the number 75 of Sierra Cooper has stalled off the start, and she's going to have to bring it down pit road, and she separates everybody up. As we come through the finish, lap 1, you can see Sierra Cooper stalled off the start, and she's going to have to limp that truck down pit road, and looks like she's coming off the pit road now, actually, so we'll see if that number 75 truck is all right, but that's going to hold up some people. Skylar Taylor, Matt Morley, a couple that need to make the chase and finish good in this race, and that's not going to help them out, but Sunja Vittoria has the lead, but he's got that 45 of Brandon Haynes right on the back. Peter Onjack also closing in. But Landon Lauterbach stuck on that outside line, and he is falling back quick and fast here, folks. And he's going to have that 02 and 04 closing in on him soon. But now that 38 of Peter Onjack's going to dive to the inside of that 45. Brandon Haynes looking for second. And there goes Stapleton. It looks like he's going to take a look to the inside of that 91 of Raul Godorn, it looks like, almost for a second. And they might go 3 wide here on the front stretch. No, they don't, but it's going to be side by side between the number 91 of Raul Godorn and the 45 of Brandon Haynes. And now you see that 57 Rocks D'Angelo, who's sitting on the cutoff line coming off the pit road. So mistakes early on here at Indianapolis. We saw this last week at Watkins Glen. A few had technical issues to start off the race, and it looks like it's happening once again. Now Stapleton still side by side now with that number 13 of Patrick Finderop as that 45 of Brandon Haynes stuck on that outside line. is being passed by that 5 of David Dixon now. And now it looks like Onjack could take a look possibly here to that number 92 of Vittoria, the man from Indiana, looking to put on a show for the home fans, but he's going to have to back out of that one, and he's going to have to file back in as now Matthew Hubert's possibly looking to that inside of that number 13, but here goes the number 45 of Brandon Haynes possibly challenging back the Kiwi of Dixon. Doesn't quite do it this time around, but they're starting to single file out here, but the field is already really, I guess you could say, just spread out, as that stall by that 75 did not help anybody on the start. I guess she just did not get the truck rolling. I mean, she got the truck rolling, but it did not fully start. You got Dylan Matiska here in that 42 running in 20th so far, so he's 20th, not too impressive, but it's better than how he's been this season so far. Oh, and nearly contact between the number 38 of Vittoria and the 38 of Onjack and the number 92 of Vittoria there as they bunched up there, and it looks like that number 92 of Vittoria checked up, and now they're going to be side by side going down the front stretch. So now he's going to look to the inside as Raul Dorn's also getting a look from that number 17 of Nathan Stapleton, and Stapleton might get a 2-for-1 here. And there goes Nathan Stapleton trying to move it to second, and I'll put 2 guys from Indiana now in the top 2. And back behind Raul Dorn trying to block off that 45 and 7 to Matthew Hubert, but a huge lunge by that 17 of Stapleton, and now he is going to be in a good position. And he is going to get the move done as Finderop's going to now move in. And Finderop might look to pass this 17 as well. And do they make contact there? I'm not quite sure. But now they're going to be side by side going down the front stretch. And now Finderop and Stapleton are going at it. It's too wide, 2 rows deep. These drivers already very racy here at Indianapolis. A very slick track right now. These guys can do a lot of moves here. A hot afternoon in Indiana. Puts on a great show for racing, but now Brandon Haynes, with the help of Landon Lauterbach behind him, possibly looking to make a move, but look at Stapleton. He is stuck on that outside line, and Vittoria right on his back. That 04 Tyler McLean and his teammate, the 02 of Adrian Gill, running good so far, but that number 19 Ryan Little is not stuck in a good position as that number 22 Chris James and 77 of Alexander Rowe look to his inside, and he needs to get a move on if he wants to catch up to this lead pack here and get a good performance in for that number 19 team. But with the way Skylar Taylor's running right now, it looks like he could possibly see himself in that final chase spot as Taylor is struggling, which is not too much of a surprise the way he's been so far this season. Now that 41 of Carson Miller is on pit road. I'm not sure what the issue is for that Nice Motorsports team, but he is on pit road here, and it looks like a tire went down for that number 41, but he was able to bring it down pit road, not bringing out a caution. Now back up front, Patrick Finderop sitting in second with that number 91 of Raul Dorn right behind him, one of the Fanville winners, always a sneaky good performer, and now he looks to get past this number 13 of Finderop and look for his first Gainbridge Truck Series win. And there goes Haynes now looking to the inside here for third. The pit window is around lap 18 to 20. Some guys looking for undercut will likely pit on lap 18, so that's going to be something to watch out to see who does that strategy. As that number 41 is still stuck on pit road as his teammates now making a pass on that 71 of Landon Lauterbach looks to his outside, but there goes the number 7, Matthew Hubert maybe looking to the inside. Sorry about that butcher there. Speaking way too fast. And now these two neighbors right here look like they were going at it for a second. New Zealander and Australian possibly for a second. But right now, Peter Onjack controlling it in his home race as we're closing up on lap 10. This 92 of Sanjay Vittoria had the lead at one point, but now he is stuck behind. And that drop is very important here at Indianapolis. It's pretty strong, but you can also just make moves on your own. See that 19 of Ryan Little still stuck on that outside line. He maybe needs to just drop back here and just get in line behind that 25, because whatever he's doing right now is not working. As that 23 Nicholas Torres, who's battling with him for that final spot, is now looking to his inside. So it looks like he is going to cover him off. Oh, but he's going to make contact with the 77 of Alexander Rowe there. He's going to hit his quarter panel. That's going to send that 77 all the way up the track going very wide, and I don't think Alexander Rowe's going to appreciate that. So now those two race side by side, and that is not what you like to see here, but he just roughed them up completely. He might have ran a little bit too wide there, but these guys are very, very close here, and we've seen a lot of close racing. Nothing's popped off just yet there, but all that checking up is not going to help anybody here. That number 13, the Patrick Finderoff, is looking like a roadblock right now. So as we make it to lap 10, Peter Onjack leads so far in this one. And now that 92 of Atoya possibly looking to the inside of that 17 of Nathan Stapleton. Not quite here just yet. But the way this checkup is, you guys got to be ready to launch out and look for a move. And there he goes now, looking to that inside of that 17. I don't think it's going to quite work this time. You got to really nail down the line going to that turn. But now, Onjack still leading. So far, it's been quite of a line here. Some of these guys just checking up very hard behind this number 43, this number 13 and 91. And they just have not been able to get moves off here. But this 45 of Haynes looks to be challenging this number 91 of Rocco Dorn now. But Dorn looks like he's going to cover him off. And now that's going to give a little bit of a gap to this number 13 and 38. The Fender up possibly look to make a move. We saw him have his breakout performance at Charlotte earlier this season in the longest race of the year, and now he is possibly challenging Onjack here as he looked like he was going to challenge there for a second. Here comes that 41 of Carson Miller off of pit road here, and he's likely going to be in front of these guys. He's got his teammate Brandon Haynes right there. We'll see if he helps him out there, but they're going to have to take the high line going into this turn, which is going to throw everything off. So going around his outside there, but Haynes is going to use this opportunity to catch the number 91 napping, and so is the number 7 of Matthew Hubert. The 71, his teammate of Landon Lauterbach, also looks to the inside. So both of them caught napping there behind the lap car, and they're going to get past. That 71, not getting too much of a good run there. He's going to really sail it in deep here into this corner, get that good run, close all the way back in on that number 45 of Brandon Haynes, and possibly look to make a move on Haynes, and there he goes, actually. Laudenbach, a great set of corners there, and now he's looking to the inside on the backstretch. So Landon Laudenbach has a great set of corners down. He's going to see himself in third and try to catch this number 13 and 38. Vittoria now looking to take advantage of this as well as he gets past Brandon Haynes. So Haynes, it looked like he caught him napping for a second, and then that number 71 caught him napping. So it all goes around here as Gale and this number 5 are still very close, but here goes Ryan Little now, possibly challenging this number 23, Nicholas Torres, but Torres is going to block off his line there, and these guys are going to be in a complete line as Carl Young looks to the inside, this number 04 of Tyreek McLean. Young won at Las Vegas earlier this season, a drafting track, with the package we were running at the time. We are not running that same package anymore, but it was a drafting track, it felt like, at that time, and Young won it, so maybe today he can play upset again if stuff falls in line. But there goes that number 23, Ryan Little, to the inside now, and he clears them, and now he's going to have to get a move on and try to catch up front. So Laudenbach starting to close in some time on this number 13 of Fender up here and possibly make a move. But this pit window is closing in about 5 laps. We'll see what happens there. And there goes Fender up, battling with Laudenbach here. Does Laudenbach give him the bumper here? No, Fender up going to run way wide. He's going to go all the way up the track, and there goes Laudenbach to the inside, and now he begins his chase on that number 38 of Peter Onjack. That 52 of Eric Monaco on pit road. Got some news earlier this week from Monaco himself. Condolences to all his family and him. Hopefully he can return eventually and he's got some damage on that truck, but just condolences out to him and his family, and I hope he's doing well. And this 5 and 02 still battling here, but for a second it looks like that 92, is he going to look to the inside of that 7 of Hubert here? Doesn't quite look like it. And now the 71 of Landon Lonneback could possibly challenge this 38 of Peter Onjack here soon. And here comes the 38 of Onjack onto pit road here, so a very early pit stop, looking for the undercut, and now 71 of Landon Lonneback's going to control the lead. So Peter Onjack comes in very early here, so here comes that number 9 of William Ayers as well. Pit boxes are a little weird here at Indianapolis. They have a randomizer, so it's actually like the teams actually choose where they want to be. So this 71, I'm not sure what pit box he is in, but it is going to be key here today for guys. So we'll see when this 71 and 13 possibly come in. And there goes the 71 and 13. We'll see if anybody else stays out. Doesn't quite look like it at this moment. That 77 Alexander Rowe is going to be staying out. So is that 25 of Carl Young. So a few are going to stay out. That 77 going to run long here. Look for the overcut. Hopefully turn his race around. Stuck in that battle in the mid-pack there. So we'll see if he's able to do something here with this. So this 77, we'll see when he comes in, him and that 25 and number... Yeah, that number 38 is already out early, but... Yeah, he's going to bring it down now, so trying to do the overcut. We'll see if it works out for Alexander Rowe, but I don't quite think it will. That 38 of Peter Onjack is in prime position right now to take the lead after this all cycles out once again. So he's going to bring it down pit road. That very early pit stops. I was not expecting guys to bring it down that early, so I'm going to be interested to see how this one plays out, especially here. And the 77 Alexander Rowe, I don't think he's going to have... that overcut is not going to work as he is just now. That's the 07 of Giuseppe Martini, not even. So yeah, Rowe has a very slow pit stop. And that's going to allow that 38 of Peter Onjack to resume the lead here with that number 71 of Landon Lonneback right behind him. And there goes Adrian Gale looking to the inside of Nathan Stapleton here. Gale shot out a rocket here. I don't know if he pitted or not, but he made up a lot of time. So now Adrian Gale might be in a good position here, but he cut off a lot of time in that pit strategy, and so did the 5 of David Dixon. The 5 gets all the way, the 19 of Ryan Little. I don't know why I said David Dixon, but the 19 of Ryan Little also cut off a lot of time as well. So this is going to be very interesting to see how this one plays out. But now it's going to be this 38 of Peter Onjack here with that number 71 of Landon Lonneback right behind them. That 77, the overcut doesn't quite work for him. He's going to be all the way back here. I don't even know. He made up a little bit of positions. He's in 14th right now, but it's got to be way better than that. So far, we haven't seen a caution here today. That could change, but so far these guys have kept it relatively clean. So we'll see if that one continues. That continues to happen here with just over halfway to go in this race. They pitted a little bit earlier than I expected, so we'll see how pit strategy plays into this one. But that 71 of Landon Lonneback is gaining some time up on this number 38 of Onjack. And the caution is out. The caution is actually out. I don't know what happened, but the 91 of Rogel Dorn is on pit road. So I don't know what quite happened here, but that 91's on pit road, and the caution is out here at Indianapolis right after I mentioned it not being cautioned. I don't know if I jinxed them. That's 29 and 70. That 29 and 52 look like they have issues on their trucks, but I'm not quite sure what happened here. But the caution is out for the first time today here at Indianapolis. I believe that just caught that 75 of Sierra Cooper a lap down if she wasn't a couple already from that stalling start. Well, yeah, already, well, only one lap down actually. But Raul Dorn, I think, was the one that had issues there. As he's all the way in the back, and that brings out a first caution just halfway through, just after the pit stops here. And let's go see what happened here, folks. And yeah, I'm not quite sure what could have brought this out, but I'm going to assume it involved this 91 of Rogel Dorn here. Maybe he had issues. Oh, a tire went down on the number 91, and this is not good for his playoff hopes. So let's go see when that tire went down for the number 91 of Rogel Dorn. So we're here with the replay, folks. You can see this 91 of Rogel Dorn. You can see when the tire goes down here, and he slows up a lot into this turn. And the truck's actually going to stall on him, so I don't know what. Yeah, I think going to the grass here did not help, and that completely tears up everything. And that number 91 had to park it on the track, so we got to get towed back to pit road, which brought out the caution here. And that's not good for the number 91 of Dorn, fighting hard all season for a chase spot. And if stuff does not go his way in the second half, he could possibly see himself sitting right outside as he completely stalls it there. And that they have to take him back to pit road, and he sits just 16 points over the cutoff line, so this is not good for him. So hopefully he can figure out what's going on there, but meanwhile, back here, you can see pit strategy is already split up a lot now as everyone is making separate decisions here as they all get caught up behind here, but there is some coming in, there is some not. A few are going to stay out. Peter Onjack, our pole sitter, the 45 of Brandon Haynes, I believe, as well. The 92 and 71 come in, which is they're going to have a couple laps fresher tires here. But I'm going to say these guys who stayed out here are going to be the ones in a better position here. Is the difference between fresh tires is not going to be too huge as pit stops just happen. The only one that's going to really see that change is going to be this 38 of Peter Onjack who put it on lap 16. But even at that, his laps are only going to be about 5 more laps worn than these guys. So that 5 laps could be important, but from what we've seen so far this season, I don't think that's quite going to be the case. And that's going to put these guys here in an interesting spot. And a couple of them, Skylar Taylor stays out. He needs to have a good finish, and with that 91 of Rogel Dorn stalling on pit road, this could be what this number 1 team needs. So Vittoria is going to beat out the 71 of Laudenbach off pit road. Laudenbach's going to actually lose a couple positions. And Giuseppe Martini, his rookie teammate, and the 0-2, the 7 of Matthew Huber. So we'll see how this plays into the finish of this one with some guys coming in and some guys not. And we'll see if that 91 of Rogel Dorn gets refired. But at this point, he's already a lap down, so who knows if he can actually get anything out of it. This will be the 38 of Peter Onjack leading us back to green with that 45 of Brandon Haynes on his outside. A reminder, it is double foul restart, so we'll see how the restarts look here at Indianapolis. That top line seems to get a pretty good lunch sometimes here at Indianapolis, so we'll see what happens this time, and we'll see when we get restarted here. I would assume maybe lap 23 the next time around, but you see Dorn's truck finally getting tires put on it. It looks like they had to sit there on pit road for quite some time. It's got that 4th pit stall there. Great selection by his team, but it looks like it's not going to play too much into the finish of this one as he is already a lap down. So we'll see when we're going to restart. It looks like it'll be on lap 24 that we restart, so it'll be just over 16 laps to go in this one. It'll be exactly 17, so that will be interesting. Peter Onjack's controlled this one so far, but can he continue that dominant performance? The first 20 laps went by pretty fast, I would say, here for Indianapolis. It usually feels really short, but it actually went by quite fast. We'll see how this restart goes. I'm really curious what pace this number 1 of Skylar Taylor will have on this restart, because that is going to be key for his playoff hopes here. And I'm just intrigued on how the separate strategy will work. I don't think it really will be too dire, though, because I feel like these guys, some of them just pit, too. Like, this 77 Alexander Rowe, he almost has equally as fresh tires as the ones who just pit. So it's going to be very interesting to see how the end of this one plays out. If they have to make a second stop, hopefully we don't see any shenanigans from last weekend at Watkins Glen. And if so, I don't even know what to tell you, folks. These teams are really not been nailing down the strategy, you could say, if that happens the past couple weeks. So we should restart on lap 24 here, and see if the lights go out on the pace truck. Let me know if you guys are enjoying this one so far. Been a pretty solid race for Indianapolis. Definitely has raised my expectations. Of course, I've had to record this twice already. First race was really good. The second race was, I just don't even want to talk about it. But this one's been very good so far. Definitely living up to the first race I recorded. If you don't know what happened there, you can go look at the Discord. Great race. Even had an overtime finish up and coming, and I broke the game. So we'll see how this one goes. But so far, caution midway through. That's going to shake this one up quite a bit. 30 Peter Onjack's going to be leading us to green. On his outside will be the 45 Brandon Haynes. The 13 of Patrick Finderop will be giving him a push. And the 17 Nathan Stapleton will also be in the second row. So these guys all stayed out. We'll see if it works out for them. So here they go. Double foul restart. We'll see how the restarts look here. It will be just 17 to go here, Indianapolis. Just a little bit under halfway. Who will be kissing the bricks? It might be too early to ask that question, but it's going to be interesting to see how this restart plays out and how the strategy plays into this one. Peter Onjack pitted on lap 16, earliest pitter out of them all, besides William Ayers. So we'll see how that one plays into his decision to stay out here. But here we go. Leading us to the Geico restart zone will be the number 38. The green flag is back out here at Indianapolis. A terrible restart there for the number 19. Oh, Ryan Little looks like he spun the tires, and that 45 of Brandon Haynes is going to get the launch into turn 1. And there goes the 5 of Dixon moving down to the inside. A hole opens up there from Ryan Little, and he is going to take it. And now Onjack's going to have to cover off that number 13 of Patrick Finderop, but that Finderop's now going to have to deal with the number 5 of David Dixon. And now Peter Onjack possibly looking to the inside for the lead here. He's going to have to back out of it. But now Brandon Haynes has it. And oh, Onjack closes right in on the back of that number 45 here. Some double foul racing right behind them. But now Onjack, does he look to make a move into turn 1? It doesn't look like he is. Brandon Haynes is going to hold him off, but Haynes is going to have to do a great job at defending. He hasn't been too good at an offense so far this season. In these type of situations, we saw him duel with Onjack at Nashville, so we'll see if he can hold him off. But look at David Dixon in third. He's got Ryan Little right behind him. Patrick Finderoff gets stuck high, and now the number 22 and 33 are battling it out, the Ryan Bro Racing Machines. And the 22 is going to really sail it in there, but there goes Onjack looking for the lead up ahead. Looking to take it back from Haynes, and Haynes is not going to have any answer for it unless he looks back to the outside, but the 38 is going to cover him off. But now look at Ryan Little and that number 5 with David Dixon closing in on the back. Those two guys sitting on the cutoff line. They need a good performance here, and if they could get a win, that would cement them into the chase. Back behind him, you see Sunjo Vittoria now making a move for a second there. It looked like on the number 88 of Clinton Buchanan, but him and Stapleton are trying to carve out this field. Skylar Taylor not having a great restart. We had to see what his pace was, and it doesn't look like it's too good here. But this 45 of Brandon Haynes, does he try to make a move back on this number 30 of Onjack? And now look at the number 19 of Ryan Little looking to the inside of the number 5. He was peeking there for a second, but nothing's going to come out of it. And now, Onjack and this 45 are starting to get a little bit of gap from this number 5 and 19. But look at this. The 77 of Alexander Rowe and the 22 Chris James are now in this top 10. And Vittoria and Stapleton are now knocking on the door at the back of that number 88 of Clinton Buchanan. And they do not want to lose any time to the leaders right now, the 45 and 38 of Peter Onjack, because I think these are the two trucks that can compete with them the most outside of Landon Leideback, who is all the way behind here. Is this going to be 3 wide here? There's second between Skylar Taylor and all of them, but does Ayers look to the inside? No, he does not. He learns his lesson from New Smyrna. You do not want to sail it in and make a risky decision, and that 71 Landon Leideback is caught up all the way back here with his teammates of the 07 of Giuseppe Martini and the 7 of Matthew Hubert, while his teammate Alexander Rowe has found some clean air up in the front. And now Stapleton and the number 92 both get by that 88 Clinton Buchanan. Now they're going to have to chase down that 22 of Chris James. And this 45 of Brandon Haynes could possibly look for another move for the lead here soon. Like I mentioned, he quite hasn't been good. He doesn't have that extra urge, I feel like, on offense here to really make some moves. But back behind them now, Little side by side with David Dixon going down the backstretch looking for 30. And it looks like he might get it here, as he's going to outrace him here on the front stretch, a complete drag race between those two there, and they get the move done. But that's going to bunch up this 22 and 77, and does that 77 Alexander Rowe possibly look for a move here on Dixon? Just over 10 to go here at Indianapolis. This one is coming down to the end. We'll see if the split pit strategy really does anything to this finish, but right now, this 77 of this 91 and 57 of Roxy Angelo both look like they might be in immediate danger at this moment. This 19 and 45 though have shown up to the party here, both in danger of not making it, but they are performing really well. And now, does Haynes look? I think the caution's out here. And yes, it is. Last week's winner, Joseph Wood, is out on the front stretch, it looks like. And anybody else involved, I'm not quite sure. But last week's winner at at Watkins Glen, Joseph Wood, is turned around. So I'm not quite sure what happened there between Wood and, I hit my Windows button. Sorry about that. And Wood and everyone else. But he is having some issues now, it looks like, as he was completely turned around. He might have had some contact with that 57 of Roxy D'Angelo. But that brings out the caution for the second time with just 11 to go here. And Landon Laudenbach has caught some damage. I don't know if that involved Laudenbach them, but we'll see how the pit strategy goes now. That 38 did not pit last time around. Does he and the rest of them who did not pit come down this time? Does everybody come down? Everybody has, I guess, unlimited sets of tires, I guess you could say. So, I mean, everyone can come down, but that 38, I think he is being called down. So here he goes. Does that 92 stay out, though? It does not look like it, so everybody's going to bring it down besides Carl Young and the 02 of Gale and the 9 of William Ayers. All these guys pitted last time, and they're going to stay out here, which is going to shake this one all the way up. But while these guys are pitting here, well, let's wait to get to replay after. Let's see the race off of pit road, but this is going to shake this one up as now Carl Young has the lead. So we'll see who comes down here. We'll see. Well, we know who's coming down, but we'll see how this one plays out and see who wins the race off the road. I mentioned how different the pit box is here. Landon Laudenbach all the way back there, even though he qualified second. And we'll see who wins the race off of pit road here. It looks like 2 tires only for some. Yes, it is Onjack. Is he going to win the race off of pit road? Brandon Haynes just behind him. Alexander Rowe gets beat out by Vittoria there. Stapleton has a terrible stop. He's going to be bunched all the way up. So Carl Young will have the lead on the restart on his outside, the 0-2 of Adrian Gill. But all these guys here, it's going to be very interesting to see how this restart plays out, especially with some of them just being involved in the latest caution. So let's go see what happened here to that 21 of Joseph Wood and the 71 of Alexander Rowe. And here's the replay here, folks. You see that 31 of Morley and the 21 racing very hard. They both slide up the track. Rogel Dorn, knowing what's at stake, he's going to dive it in there, and that's going to cause them to wreck here. Morley involved. The 07's able to avoid it, but Landon Laudenbach on the inside, a lot of smoke, and he runs right into the 21 there. That is not going to help him out at all, but I don't know how this 21 did not pit there. He might come down the second time around, but he has a lot of damage on the back end of that truck. So I don't know why he stayed out. If he does, he might ruin this restart. But this is all shaken up now with some guys staying out. So we'll see if the fresh tires have any effect. Like I mentioned earlier, I don't think what I mentioned earlier is going to really play into this one, because now I think fresh tires do play an effect, but there's only just under 10 laps to go here at Indianapolis. I mentioned it earlier in this broadcast. This 25 of Carl Young won at Las Vegas playing upset. Can he do it again? So we'll see what this 25 and 02 are able to do on the restart. They will be leading us back to green, but we'll see when we even restart here. I would assume lap 33 possibly. And no, it will not be lap 33. Some of these guys still stayed. I don't know how that's going to work out for that 21. He just got involved in the wreck and he does not bring it down, which I think that could be very costly for his race. And other guys' race. Hopefully he gets it fired off on the restart. I don't know if his 21's going to be able to. He's got a lot of damage, and he's going to be starting on the inside line. Oh no, this restart could be very ugly. The two that just got involved in the wreck are going to both be still racing here, but it looks like we will be restarting on lap 34, so we'll be having 7 to go here at Indianapolis. We'll see if Peter Onjack is able to carve through everyone along with Brandon Haynes and possibly fight for the win, or will it be an upset winner here at Indianapolis in the regular season finale? This 25 of Carl Young currently sits just 39 points off of the cutoff line, so even if he got a win, he would just barely make it in. He's going to have to hope that number 1 Skylar Taylor has a terrible performance. If he did win, it would take a lot for him to make it in, but anything is possible here in our Truck Night America, so we'll see if it happens. It's going to be a very interesting post-race show when we set this chase field. So we'll see when we restart here. Hopefully on lap 34, which will bring us to 7 to go at Indianapolis. And it looks like it will be, and that's 31. Oh, they're passing 91 and 41 of Carson Miller there. I was a little bit confused. I was like, did that 31 and 21 really just stall there? But we will be coming to restart. Carl Young, he seems to always get himself in this situation. But we'll see how it plays out. So here we go, folks. A restart with just 7 to go here at Indianapolis. Carl Young leading us to the restart. On his outside, the 0-2 of Adrian Gill. We've seen that outside line be very powerful. Will we see it once again? William Ayers in his home race. He currently sits in a good spot. So does that 56 Howie Anderson Jr. It's the first time we've seen them up here before. So let's see how this one plays out. And here we go. Leading us to the Geico restart zone, the 25 of Carl Young. Winner at Las Vegas earlier this season. The green flag is out for the Brickyard 200 with 7 to go. An almost even restart between the 02 and 25 as we go into turn 1. Look at Matthew Hubert on the inside now. He's got some help from the 31 of Matt Morley. Does Hubert dive for the lead? He sails it in now. There goes Matthew Hubert. He won at Atlanta this season and Talladega. He wins at these type of tracks, and here he goes now. He's in the lead. Peter Onjack on the inside behind. Him and Sanjay Vittori and the 19 of Ryan Little all trying to carve through. Brandon Haynes stuck all the way on the outside. He is on the cutoff line coming into this one, and this could not be good for him. So is the number 5 of David Dixon. That 77 of Alexander Road checks up there, not wanting to be in the middle, but the 7 of Matthew Hubert leads. And now look at a pass here. There goes the number 38 to the inside of that number 52. It is a line between these guys as they are carving their way through. Can the 7 and 25 drive away and somehow have a gap? It will be 5 to go at the line. Still green flags here, and there goes Onjack passing the number 18 of James Daniel. Can this number 7 of Matthew Hubert hold on for long enough? Or will this number 38 of Peter Onjack chase him down? This number 19 has to get around his teammate of James Daniel, the number 18. We'll see how easy of a task that is for him. And at this moment, we have to get ready for overtime as these guys are coming to 4 to go. But can Hubert hold on? He's been stuck in the back after, I don't even know. but he was stuck in the back for quite a while. He had to carve his way through there, and he got lucky on pit strategy, but now he is in a good position. There goes the 0-2 of Gale to the inside of that number 9 of William Ayers. It does not work for him. There goes the 38 looking to the outside now. Can Matthew Hubert be the first driver to get 3 wins on the season? He's going to sail into this turn, run a little bit wide. That is not quite the line you want to take. This 31 of Matt Morley was in danger at one point in this race, but he looks like he could be doing good. Coming to 3 to go at the line. Does Onjack make a lunge to the inside? He does not have a lot of time left in this one. Has Haynes figured it out? Yes, he is. He's making a last-ditch effort. 5 of Dixon, where is he? He's stuck all the way behind here. That is not good for the number 5. I think he got caught up in something. And if everything does not fall how this number 5 team wants, they could possibly be out of this. There goes Haynes now, back up front. It is a line now. Just a couple trucks separating this 38 and number 7. But we're going to be coming to 2 to go at the line. Just almost 2 more laps to go for the number 7 of Matthew Hubert. Hubert was the first one to get to multi-race wins on the season, and he could possibly be the first one to get to 3 wins on the season. I said earlier in the pre-race show, with 2 to go, well, it's 2 to go now, but I said earlier, I think I said it earlier, but I think this number 7 can make a very good chase run if he puts together the right performances, and getting a win here ahead of the first chase race at Darlington next week here at Indianapolis could be a great win to get his momentum going. Now Gale looking to the inside for a second, but this 38 and 19 and 92 look like they're not going to be able to get moves off. And there goes Ayers now to the inside of that number 31 of Matt Morley, but he's not going to actually get to the inside of him. He's going to look, but nothing gets done. But there goes Onjack now. But coming to the white flags will be the number 7 of Matthew Hubert. And this is Gainbridge's home race. And the 25 of Carl Young cannot make it to the end. He's coming down the pit road. That 71 of Landon Lineback as well. White flag is out here at Indianapolis. 1 more to go for the number 7 of Matthew Hubert. Looking for his 3rd race win on the season. But can he make it to the end? A lot of guys coming off of pit road now. This 38 has 1 truck between him and that 7. The 31 of Matt Morley. It doesn't look like he's going to get a move off of Morley, though. But coming through. Coming to the checkered flag. Matthew Hubert is going to win the Brickyard 200. And Peter Onjack, I believe, just secured the regular season championship. That number 19, Ryan Little, is bringing it down pit road. I don't know what the issue was, but that is not good. I don't know what happened to that number 19, but his chase hopes might have just been thrown out the window with that pit stop. But the number 7, Matthew Hubert, is going to prevail in the end. He makes it to the end. He pitted early on, and now he stays out, and he's able to hold on, and he gets his 3rd win on the season. Congratulations to Matthew Hubert. Been very underrated this season, but he gets his 3rd win on the season. And Peter Onjack, I believe, with that performance right there, secured the regular season championship, and he will have a lot of bragging rights going in to the first chase race next week at Darlington. Let's get these results ready and the chase lineup, and we'll take a look at who's going to be in the chase and the results of this race. So here's the finishing results here from this race, folks, as I'm going to save this real quick, but here's the finishing results for this race, folks. You can see Matthew Hubert gets his 3rd win on the season. The 38 of Peter Onjack finishes in 2nd. 3rd, Stunjo Latoya. The 4th is 0-2 of Adrian Gale. Matt Morley is going to secure a chase spot with that finish. William Ayers finishes in 6th. Patrick Finderop in 7th. 8th is the 22 Chris James. 9th is Alexander Rowe. And how about that 45 of Brandon Haynes? He was way back there, but he fights and claws to the end and likely just got himself a chase spot as he will finish 10th in this one. 11th is going to be the 88 Quinton Buchanan. He finally gets something going. The 27, Zach Thompson. Dylan Matiska gets a top 15 finish. That's good for him. A very good driver. Well, not very good. Well, not this season, but a very active driver, I meant to say. And he finally gets something going his way. Monica Pato, a top 20. Chris Martin does really good. Nathan Stapleton claws back up. David Dixon as well. Brian Little finishes 21st. He came down pit road, but he's going to bring across the line. It's kind of like last weekend with Onjack. He's still going to be credited for that 21st place finish. But Nicholas Torres, a big story in this one, 10 laps down, sitting on that cutoff line. He's not going to make it. Rogel Dorn, I think, is not going to make it either. Skylar Taylor, I guess we'll see. But that is the finishing results from this race here, folks. Stand on by as we're going to go take a look at what our chase will look like for Season 1. All right, folks, so here is the chase standings going into Darlington this upcoming week. You can see Peter Onjack should enter with the lead and the regular season championship with 2,035 points, and he's going to have a pretty good lead over Central Victoria, only 5 points. And then Matthew Hubert, with his third win on the season here today at Indianapolis, will sit with 2,027 points, and he'll have a pretty good advantage over Lane Lauterbach, just 2 points, but he gets over his teammate there with that final win. And then you have William Ayers in 5th. Adrian Gale jumps all the way up to 6th in front of Nathan Stapleton, and Matt Morley still makes it with that great finish for the situation he was in most of the race. Brandon Haynes makes it, David Dixon makes it, Rob Gilmore and Ryan Little all make it. So besides Matt Morley, we have a pretty active chase, so this will be very interesting to see how it will play out, folks. I'm excited. The final 10 races this season are upcoming. But thank you all for tuning in to In Our Truck Night America. This is the last final look before next weekend at Darlington of your chase standings going into the next race. So thank you all for tuning in. This is Charlie Davenport signing off from In Our Truck Night America. Thank you to all our partners and all the fans and all the drivers for coming out and supporting us here today. Only 10 races left in Season 1, and it's been a long journey to this point, but we have finally made it, and it's time to go.